there's a big red flag. I would say yes, absolutely. So it's so easy for scammers out there to duplicate listings online because all they need to do, and I'm not coaching anybody how to do this, this is pretty, it's out there. All of our listings, for example, when we list a property, one of the places that we put it as realtors is on realtor.ca, which is the MLS. It's where all the listings in the country are. So somebody just takes that photo, they take the write-up, and then they just put it onto Facebook Marketplace, or they put it onto, Kijiji, or one of these kind of high rental portals in which people use to search for rental properties. It's so easy for someone to create a fake post like that. What I really want to do is I just want to give people a little bit of a heads up as to how they can protect themselves.
It's too bad we have to wake up in this world of paranoia. You have to have your defense up all the time.
Absolutely. I can't tell you, Mark, how many times over the years I've had a call from someone saying, hey, I just e-transferred the money about that property. I'm like, what property? It's for sale. It's not a rental. And then at that point, I clue in that it's somebody's been scammed and they've used, one of the photos online or something. And so I always caution people, the first thing you should always do is Google that listing. See if it shows up with a realtor. If it shows up with, okay. just Google 123 Main Street and see if it shows up with a realtor, on realtor.ca, and then call that realtor and just say, hey, I happen to see this listing on Facebook Marketplace. I notice your name is different than the name being used on Marketplace. Is it real? And the realtor will tell you right away whether it is legitimate or if it's not legitimate. That's just one step. That is perhaps the biggest piece of advice that I can give someone. Just a little bit of due diligence up front, but never, ever give money up front. Sometimes, you see these rental scams and they say $1,000 up front. The rest of it is due, after you've toured the property and signed the lease. No, don't ever give money up front. And you should always be hesitant when they're asking for currency outside of, an e-transfer or, if they're asking for gift cards and these kind of things, there's a big red flag to be careful of.
It's too bad because a lot of people that are just honest by nature.
Yeah.
And they're ashamed if they get duped.
Yep.
But these are intelligent people.
Yeah.
The only thing they're guilty of is being trusting.
Absolutely.
Right? And AI takes it to another level.
It does. AI just kind of makes everything look real, which is scary. And a lot of the times, too many people, we sit back and we judge, how can someone be that silly to fall for these types of scams? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people fall for these scams that I would never, ever have thought that they would have fallen for, because they do come across very real. And it was a big issue a couple of years ago when we had that rental crisis, when people were fighting tooth and nail for a rental property. When there was 10 applicants or 20 applicants on one particular property, people would do anything to get a little bit of advantage. They would give their money up front. They would say, hey, Mr. Landlord, Mrs. Landlord, I don't need to see the property. I'll just e-transfer you the money. Blindly just thinking that it was a legitimate ad, and all of a sudden that money disappeared. And so the one thing that we are seeing, especially coming into the summer months, Mark, is vacation rentals. Once you get these lakeside communities, like people are renting these homes for people for like a week or a month or whatever. The scammer knows the buyer is not going to travel from Toronto or Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area to go and view the property. The buyer, the renter is going to make their decision whether or not this is a suitable vacation home for them for the summer based on the photos. Because one of the things I always recommend to people is before you hand over any money, go and have a look at the property, first of all. Go and see the person, go and meet the person, shake their hand, see if it's legitimate, first of all. But with vacation rentals, it's difficult to do that because of proximity. So people just are very reliant on photos. So I would say you have to be extra vigilant there when it comes to those types of properties.